Hello book besties, welcome back to my channel. I'm Emasu, a book lover that's always on a binge. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys my top favorite book that I've read in each month so far in 2025. So from January to the most recent month, which is August, that is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. That'll be 8 books that I'll be sharing with you guys. Just know that this will be very difficult, okay? Choosing only one book out of all the books I read per month is going to be very difficult, seeing as how I probably loved a lot of books during the month that I read them. So take this video with a grain of salt because it might not be something that you agree with, but I had to choose one, okay? If I could choose multiple, then I would, but then that would be too easy. I'm gonna go on the Fable app to see which books I've read in each month because I tend to forget, and this way it'll be more organized and I can really see how much I've read per month and which books I have read. So in the month of January, I read 24 books and we had quite a lot of 5-star reads that month, but also like really fun and enjoyable reads. The one that really topped it off for me in January is the Mindfuck series by S.D. Abbey. This took over my life. Literally finished this in 12 hours. Had no social life for those 12 hours except just words on paper. S.D. Abbey, may she rest in peace, has given us such a masterpiece when it came to this dark thriller romance. Freaking amazing stuff. If you guys didn't know what Mindfuck series is about, it's about Lana Myers, our female main character, who is a vigilante and a serial unaliver who has been hunting men that have destroyed her childhood. She's also coined as the boogeyman by the FBI because they just can't seem to track her. They don't know what she's gonna do next. One day she ends up meeting Logan, an FBI profiler who is unknowingly in charge of her case, whereas she knows who exactly he is. It makes up for a crazy romance. Also, the main importance of this book is our female main character's backstory, and you guys get to see why she is doing what she's doing. I cried a lot actually reading this book. The romance is in fact more of a subplot, which I thoroughly enjoyed because the plot itself is so fascinating but also terrifying and scary at the same time. That's why it's one of the best dark romance books, and if I were to recommend someone their first dark romance read, it would be the Mindfuck series for sure. In February, I read 19 books, which is also a really crazy amount. At the start of the year, I started real strong with my reading. There was a couple good ones this month too. But having to just choose one. Okay, let me choose my favorite one right now. It is Play Along by Liz 1040. This is a sports contemporary romance, and this book is part of her interconnected standalone series called the Windy City series. This is the 4th book in that, and it follows Isaiah Rhodes and Kennedy K. Now, the sports that we're talking about in this one is baseball, and after reading his brother's book, which is the 3rd book, the book right before this one, I seem to have a thing for baseball players now too. This was such a fun read and a very wholesome romance. Isaiah is the shortstop for the Chicago's baseball team, whereas Kennedy K is actually a doctor who is working in the healthcare section of the same baseball team as Isaiah. So she's one of the doctors that help with the players when they get injured. They look after the team's health, basically. This has an accidental marriage trope that happens in Las Vegas, hence the Las Vegas in the back. But what you need to focus on is the amount of love and pining that Isaiah has for Kennedy. And my favorite tagline from this book was, "Come on, wife. Play along." Anyway, favorite read for the month of February. Now, in the month of March, we read about 16 books, and my favorite book for this month has to be Reckless by Elsie Silver. This is a cowboy contemporary romance. I read so many good contemporary romance this year alone, and I'm so happy for that. This is the 4th book in the Chestnut Springs series, and this series itself is also an interconnected standalone series where each book follows a different couple, and in this one, we get Theo and Winter. Elsie Silver can do no wrong in my eye. Her writing when it comes to small town romances and cowboys especially, she knows her stuff. She knows her stuff very well. Now, this has a trope that I did not expect at all and is usually one I try to avoid, but I believe it is done very well. And I won't tell you what it is because that I feel like sometimes tropes spoil the whole plot line of it. So I'm not gonna say what it is, but let's just say that Theo is definitely gonna be there for Winter, no matter what, for anything that happens. And as the saying goes, save a horse, ride a cowboy, or something along those lines. Now for the month of April, I read 14 books. A lot of good books as well in this one. But one that truly stood out has to be The Zodiac Academy, The Reckoning. This is the third book in the Zodiac Academy series. I'm still in the middle of the series right now. I had to take quite a bit of a break after reading The Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. But this was the best book for me in the month of April. This is an urban fantasy romance, and we have two female main characters actually that we follow, and we get to see them truly finding who they are and finding out that they are indeed one of the most powerful and highly valued fays in this world. This book itself though was perfection. We got to see the girls really have a handle on their powers and really using it to their advantage this time around. We get to see quite a bit of romance as well. The little tidbits of a slow burn romance, and another one that is blooming for one of the sisters already, and how a certain professor came to be one of my favorite characters out there. And the cliffhanger at the end of this book, vile. I cannot wait to start Shadow Princess. I'm so excited to finally get back into the actual Zodiac Academy series and their world, so I'm looking forward to it. Now for the month of May, I read 13 books. This one's a bit difficult because I actually have two favorites in this one. It's gonna be hard to choose one. But since that one that I was thinking of that came out in May that I absolutely love, which is Rewind It Back, is part of the Windy City series, and I already said Play Along was my favorite. In February, I think I should choose the other book, which is Leave Me Behind by Kea Moronova. Guys, this took me by surprise. This is a dark military romance, and I did not expect to read something like that. I didn't expect for the plot to be so out of, like, my comfort zone, and it's like nothing I've read before. Like, it is way different than what I thought it would be. This is definitely a book that you need to read your trigger warnings. We're talking about all different types of plays and kinks. This also has extreme bullying. If I thought the Zodiac Academy was crazy, this one took it to another level. We're talking about maiming, physical, bodily harm to another person, and sometimes one or both characters kind of get off of that. So yeah, this was dark and a very twisted one, but I loved it so much I gave it 5 stars. Quite a bit of mixed reviews. Some people give it 1 star, some people give it 5 star. I'm personally on the 5-star ladder. I don't know, maybe it could be right book, right time, but nonetheless, I had such a fantastic time. This follows Nella Gallows, our sole survivor of this Black Ops squad that she's part of. And now she's being sent to this new squad called Malum, where nobody really welcomes her because of what happened with her team. Now, our male main character is the commander of the team that she's joining, and his code name is Bones. This man is a psychopath. I said what I said. The night before she joins this team, she ends up having a one-night stand, not knowing that the man she has a one-night stand with turns out to be our commander of our new team. This is one that is true enemies to lovers. These two fucking hate each other, but also enemies and lovers. This has a very crazy plot twist that you would not expect coming. There's also very unwarranted moments that just happens, and you kind of just have to accept it and move on. But if you're looking for a dark military romance that is very unhinged, then pick up Leave Me Behind by Kea Moronova. Now for June, I read 18 books, and this was a month that I had a really difficult time finding a good read. Like, I was in a huge reading slump. Nothing felt good. Nothing sounded good at all to me. This month, I had no 5 stars, which was very surprising and sad. But one that I was excited for, it was close to a 5-star read, it was a 4.5-star read, is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This was my saving grace for the month of June. Everything about this, loved. I didn't give it a full 5 stars just because the ending felt a bit rushed. This is a dark gothic fantasy romance with our female main character being a diviner, one who can see the future of someone else's lives by actually being drowned into a pool of water in a church. That part was terrifying, guys. Let me tell you, I was actually like, when I learned that, because you learn it on pretty early, like 10 pages in or something, and you're just like, Our female main character's name is Sybil, and she has basically been housed by this church and by this head church lady, I forget her name of, all her life, and she's an orphan. And so they bring these girls and basically groom them to being diviners. They've never left the place. They're not supposed to. And one day, the king's knights come on over to have the king's future be told, and it didn't look so good. One of the knights is our male main character, and his name is Roderick. And Roderick definitely gives off the dark, moody, mysterious, emo-like male main character. They even describe him as having like eyeshadows underneath his eyes, basically like a rundown mascara, and he looks really hot. I've seen quite a few fan arts about this. When Sybil's fellow diviner started to go missing, she ends up forming an unlikely team with Roderick, and they set off on a journey. It was good. It was just really good, guys. Now, for the month of July, we actually only read 9 books, which is not a lot, but we read a couple good ones. We actually finished the entire series. We finished the Devil's Night series. Loved that. The top book for the month of July for me was not even any of those books. Even though as much as I love them, I can only pick one. It has to be from a series that I actually started in this month as well, which is the Boys Who Taught Me series. And the book that I'm choosing is Keeping 13. This is the second book in Johnny and Shannon's love story, and it was absolutely everything. This book itself has put my emotions on a ringer. Literally dragged my emotions around throughout the book. It was so emotionally life-changing and brain-altering to read about. Such heavy topics has been talked about in this series so far. Now I'm actually in the middle of Joey and Aoife's story, and that's also putting a lot on me. As you can tell from the amount of tabbing that I have, it was very much an amazing read. Now, for those who don't know what Boys Who Taught Me is, it is a contemporary romance with a lot of emotional trauma that you will get as a reader. So it is a journey. If you want to be in that journey with me, come hop on to this bandwagon. We can cry together. I just love their love. Their soft love is everything. It is a love at first sight type of scenario, and that's what they truly are. They are just the softest romantic love relationship in this series so far. They're just so innocent and loving. Not so innocent at times. Johnny. But yeah, if you guys want emotional damage, pick up the Boys of Town series. The whole thing, in fact. Now, lastly, for the month of August, we read 10 books, which if you guys have not seen my August reading wrap-up, make sure to watch that video. I'll put the link up top in one of the corners, wherever it is. We did read Saving Six, which is Aoife and Joey's story, like I said. But I also have another favorite for this month that I feel like people need to read if they want another small town romance that is more fluffy, more loving. It is Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. I talked about this in my reading wrap-up, but this is the third and final book in the Lakefront Billionaire series by her. This follows a different couple than the first two. This one follows Lorenzo and Lily. This does have the fake dating and fake engagement trope, so if you're into that, this one delivered very well. Let me tell you now, I ate this shit up so well. This is also a 5-star read. Amazing stuff. Just amazing stuff. It also has a very great mental health representation when it came to both of our characters. One is battling anxiety and OCD. The other is battling how to grieve for someone that they lost. Everything about this book just spoke to me. The way that Lorenzo is so attentive towards Lily, to her needs and her wants without her having to say anything, speaks volume of how much this man loves her. And then Lily never giving up on our man Lorenzo like that. Like, she is so patient. This wrapped up the trilogy so damn well that deserves the spotlight for the month of August. If you have not read this trilogy by Lauren Asher, make sure to pick it up. The difficulties of this challenge is just choosing one, but knowing that you loved all of them it's hard, but you know, things had to be done. It had to be done. Anyway, now that my little tantrum is over, these are all the books that I've chosen to be my top favorite book for each month so far this year. And we have quite a variety. So if you guys have not read any of these books, try it out yourselves. Maybe you'll love it like I did. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!